What's up, Mafia? The media spent all offseason coming for Jalen Hurts, and now it's all been debunked without him having to say anything. Makai Lemon showed up to the rookie premiere and already shut people up without playing a single snap. And Kayshon Boutte may be heading to Philadelphia. And I need to tell you why it's not the disaster that most people are making it out to be. A lot is happening, so let's get it mixing. Let's start here, because most media outlets aren't discussing this story. Scott Loeffler, the Eagles quarterback coach from last year, sat down with David Briggs at a Toledo newspaper. Not ESPN, not WIP, a Toledo newspaper. And he put his name on the record. He said Jalen Hurts is super coachable, a championship type guy, hardworking, smart, and a great competitor. Now think about that. The ESPN hit article that started all of this only had anonymous sources. Nobody put their name on it. They hid behind league sources to take shots at the Eagles quarterback. Meanwhile, Scott Loeffler manned up and put his whole name behind it. The guy who was in the building every single day, working with Jalen Hurts one-on-one, said the complete opposite. And here's what makes it even more real. After everything that happened last season, after all the drama, after all the noise, Jalen Hurts himself is still working out with Coach Loeffler. He's still in contact with him, and they're still putting in work. Now to me, that doesn't sound like someone who's uncoachable and pushes coaches away. And it's not just Scott Loeffler. In the past, Peyton Manning has come out and defended Jalen Hurts also.
So he's a student of the game. Is another example. You think, he squats 600 pounds. He can, run over guys. He can throw it a mile. But his appreciation of the cerebral part of the game is what's impressive to me, and how he's taken his game to the next level. And I think the sky's the limit for this guy.
You also have Troy Aikman coming out and defending Jalen Hurts. The Cowboy, the once upon a time face of their franchise, came out and defended an Eagles player.
Back who puts in the time to do everything he can to be his best. And so whatever he's been challenged with this offseason, I fully expect him to come out and play the kind of football that we're accustomed to seeing.
He said with Sean Mannion running this new offense, Jalen Hurts is set up better than he's ever been. DeVonta Smith has said it. Tom Brady has said it.
Jalen Hurts talk, especially knowing him as long as you've had, about him being a quote-unquote elite quarterback.
Slay said, the big four. For me, it's the big five. And, Jalen is in that five. With the four that he named, and then I'm putting Jalen in there. That to me, that's the big five. I don't think it's a big four. I think it's a big five, honestly.
He got to be in there now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Even his former coach, Doug Peterson, said never to bet against Jalen Hurts. So on one side, you have anonymous sources leaking things to ESPN. And on the other side, you have named people, coaches, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, teammates, all saying the same thing. And if you're anything like me, I already know what side you're on. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is perfect. Nobody's perfect. But every single player who's been in the same building with him, coached him, or played with him at the highest level is coming back saying the same thing. He works, he grinds, he wins. And he doesn't need to say a single word, because everyone around him is saying it for him. This whole narrative that they're creating is falling apart, and the people who built it don't want to admit it. Now, let's shift to this one, because this next one actually got pretty funny. Makai Lemon showed up at the NFL rookie premiere, and the whole internet did a complete 180. Right after the Eagles drafted him in the first round, social media went crazy. They said he was too small for the slot. They said he was too small to take shots across the middle. They said he was too small to survive the NFL. That was the opinion going around everywhere. He's listed at 5'11", 195 pounds. Then he put on that midnight green jersey, stood next to the other first round draft picks, and people started going, wait, he doesn't look small at all. In pads, in cleats, with weight clearly added, he looked nothing like the guy people were worried about. And the film backed it up way before the rookie premiere. His entire college career was built off catching passes over the middle and bouncing off defenders after each and every catch. That's a skill set Howie Roseman specifically went out and got. And do you want to know the craziest part about this size narrative? We have watched this exact story play out before in Philadelphia, before we took an undersized receiver. The casual fans questioned it, Howie Roseman got criticized, and the receiver goes on to be great. I don't even have to say the name. You already know who I'm talking about. The size conversation about Makai Lemon was always overblown. The film showed it before the draft, and the rookie premiere confirmed it and backed it all up. Now, on to this last one. This one really got Eagles fans going back and forth. Reports are coming in that Kayshon Boutte could be included in the A.J. Brown trade package coming from the New England Patriots. And a lot of fans are not happy about this. And I get it, but allow me to push back for just 1 second. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler already confirmed the Eagles are getting a first-round draft pick in this deal. Now that part is not up for debate. The question is, what else comes attached to it?
My best guess is that they've probably already agreed to something loosely. They can always tweak that or rework it, but they're probably getting a one, maybe a future one, maybe it's a 2028. I don't think they'll get more than that. I think that would be the max at this point. I'd be surprised. Philly, once upon a time, hoped for a 1 and a 2. I just don't see them that happening. Maybe they can get creative and swap some mid to late round picks to sweeten it up. Or I haven't heard anything else as far as like if there's a veteran included. New England could part with one of their receivers, but I think Philly's pretty set there for the most part at that position. So they've addressed a lot of their glaring needs, so they don't really need to include another player.
Here's why Boutte makes sense to look at as an option. He's been skipping voluntary practices in New England. His own teammates aren't mentioning him in press conferences. And those are things that you can't ignore. The signs are pointing at a move. And when you actually look at what he's done on the field, 78 catches, 1,159 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 14.9 yards per catch as a number 2 receiver who never had the real opportunity to be the guy. That is not a bad player. This is a guy who's been buried on a bad roster. Now, imagine him in Philadelphia. Put him in Sean May's offense next to DeVonta Smith and Makai Lemon, running routes for the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. That's an instant change and instant success. And here's the business side of it that a lot of people are sleeping on. Boutte is still on his rookie deal. So, if he plays well and he walks, the Eagles get back a compensatory pick. Now, if he plays well and he stays, you have a weapon on a cheap contract for many years. If it does not work, you move him and you get something back. Howie Roseman will figure it out. He always does. Now, could the Eagles do better? Absolutely. In my last video, I talked about potentially having Brian Thomas Jr. included in a trade from the Jags. 2 seasons, 12 touchdowns. Coming off of a down year, but the talent is undeniable. That would be the move that changes this conversation entirely. But if New England is offering a first round and Boutte, I'm not panicking. The wide receiver room was always going to look different after A.J. Brown. Let the competition sort itself out when training camp starts. DeVonta Smith, Makai Lemon, and Dontavian Wicks are already here. And we have a ton of wide receivers fighting for spots. Boutte just adds one more body to a competition that's going to be worth watching. So, where are we right now with this team? The Jalen Hurts narrative is getting buried one named source at a time. Makai Lemon is already making people look stupid before he even plays a single snap. And the A.J. Brown trade is coming. And the only real question left is what Howie Roseman pulls out of it. Honestly, I feel really good about this team. It's not perfect, and there are still some questions left that need to be answered. The safety position, the offensive line depth, how this new offense looks in September when it actually counts. Those conversations aren't going to go away, but they will be answered. But now, the noise about Jalen Hurts being not coachable, the size stuff about Makai Lemon, that stuff is fading fast. And it's fading because the people who actually know keep showing up and setting the record straight. This roster is being built with purpose. And I think by the time we actually get to training camp, a lot of people are going to look back at this offseason and realize how he and his staff were ahead of everybody the whole time. And that is where we are right now. Let me know down in the comments section. Do you want Boutte in this trade, or do you just want draft picks? And do you think this Jalen Hurts narrative is finally dead? Or does it come back when he has a bad game? Drop it in the comments section and let me know. And if you're new here, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a like. It helps the channel more than you know. And I'll see you in the next one. And once again, I've been Brother Shy, and this has been the Midnight Green Mafia.